All right, we're all waiting for the Rittenhouse verdict, right? Wow, longer than it should be, don't you think? I'm going to get to the Rittenhouse matter in a moment. So many myths, so many lies about that case. I'm not going to spend too much time on Joe. He gave a ridiculous speech. He was trying to be inspiring, but he came off as angry once again. I don't think he's reading the bad news that's everywhere about him. One interesting thing did happen. See those trucks behind him? He took one of them for a drive. It's an electric pickup truck. He did this up in Michigan. And suspend his driver's license right now, please. Okay, yes, that is Joe at the wheel, and they took him to the back of, it looks like a grocery store, and let him drive around. And it gets worse here. He almost hits the wall. It looks like he's going to crash. Now, I'm told the passenger has a brake, too. Watch. He should not have come that close to the wall. He should not have come that close to the wall. Anyway, Joe's doing his thing. We all know it's pathetic. We'll have more on him a little bit later in the show. In the meantime, the Rittenhouse case. Here's one of the many lies about this case. I've heard it many times. There he is, right after he defended himself. He's got his hands up and he's got his weapon. He's got his weapon. Well, so many people believe erroneously that it's illegal to have a weapon in Wisconsin. It's not. It's an open carry state. And so many said, oh, if he looked different, this would have ended badly for him.
We live in the real world. We see what's happening. Imagine, though, if it was reversed, right? If it was a black kid with a gun.
Race is an undertone in this this trial. The consideration if Kyle Rittenhouse were a black 17-year-old running around with an AR-15, hell, a pellet gun.
Yeah, they're just revealing their bias and their ignorance from wherever CNN is coming from these days. Atlanta, New York. Who cares? Because that night in Kenosha, police were under siege, okay? There were all kinds of people running around with rifles. They were in total defensive posture. They weren't policing in the traditional sense. They couldn't. I mean, they were surrounded. People were going right up to armored vehicles. And there were all kinds of people with big rifles. By the way, it is an open carry state, again. So, back to Kyle Rittenhouse himself. When he said this, he was right.
People are getting injured, and our job is to protect this business, and part of my job is to also help people. If there's somebody hurt, I'm running into harm's way. That's why I have my rifle, because I need to protect myself, obviously. But I also have my med kit.
He's right. Businesses were being destroyed left and right. I think he was protecting a car a dealership of some kind. Look at this, destroying cars, looting businesses. I mean, it was total chaos. And you know what? Some of us aren't going to let that happen, all right? You can do this in America. You can protect your property or the property of your friends. You are still allowed. Oh, by the way, Kyle Rittenhouse was treated so unfairly, I believe, because he was white, is white. You may remember the Timothy Simpkins case, maybe not. A couple of weeks ago in Arlington, Texas, there was a mass shooting at a school. Simpkins is the suspect, and he was freed within 24 hours. He allegedly shot 4 people, at least one critically, $75,000 bail. $75,000 and out in less than a day. $2 million bail for Kyle Rittenhouse, who we know shot people in self-defense. So the media, they love a fake news narrative. But that fake news narrative, it corrupts and it changes the way people behave.
Jacob Blake is a 29-year-old black man who was shot 7 times by a white officer in front of 2 of his children, leaving him partially paralyzed.
I didn't want to be the next George Floyd. I didn't want to die.
The next George Floyd. And you see that all the time. People say they don't want to be the next George Floyd. So resist arrest. It's one lesson the media could have could have driven home. Don't resist arrest, and perhaps you have a greater chance of surviving any police altercation. But no, it's very much in fashion, in season, to resist arrest, and that puts the people resisting at great risk, and also the cops. It is bad, bad news. Hey, I'm not sure if we're going to have a verdict in the Rittenhouse case. You know that they had to turn over evidence to the jury that they did not see during the trial. In fact, the defense didn't even see. On the top, you've got drone footage. It's kind of grainy. On the bottom, it's much better quality, enhanced, almost 4D. Well, or HD, I should say. The prosecution apparently had this and did not turn it over to the defense. It could have made a difference. What do they call it? A mistrial with prejudice? I think that something like that could happen. We will see. We'll see. Meanwhile, got to go to Chicago now. The boss of McDonald's, the CEO, Mr. Kemczynski, is still apologizing for privately uttering the truth. You saw what he texted to the mayor after an unfortunate shooting of a child. Tragic shootings in the last week, both at our restaurant yesterday and with Adam Toledo. With both, the parents failed those kids, which I know is something you can say, even harder to fix. You can't say it, but it's right. Everybody knows that the parents have responsibility here. All these children being killed by other children, yeah, there's a big role for the parents. Anyway, he's right. I guess you can't say that privately, or at least he can't, because they're trying to cancel him now, and he's got to apologize to everybody. When they found out about this, he's apologizing to McDonald's, outside McDonald's. I am still learning from this. I believe that starts with more listening and learning from people whose life experience are different from my own. Those comments were wrong, and I'm sorry. And then there's more. I'm sorry I let you down. I let myself down. I have, through my background, a very narrow worldview. My comments to Mayor Lightfoot revealed that ignorance. That's quite a word. And now he's got to make the rounds. He's meeting with pastors. He's apologizing to them. He's meeting with the families of people he never met before, apologizing to them. All for something he said in a private text message. My advice to the CEO of McDonald's, stop with the apologizing. It's not going to work. You should just own your comments and get back to work. Fix the McRib. Think about bringing onion rings to McDonald's. No joke. Because apologizing doesn't work, especially when you're not wrong. Now, Chris Harrison, remember him? He was the host of The Bachelor on the right there. He is no longer there because he said something pretty harmless that touched on race. He defended a girl who went to a party, a Southern-themed cotillion like a million years ago. He said maybe she's not a racist. Anyway, he lost his job. They tried to cancel him. He tried the apology stuff, too. It doesn't work.
I am an imperfect man. I made a mistake, and I own that. I am saddened and shocked at how insensitive I was in that interview with Rachel Lindsay. And I didn't speak from my heart, and that is to say I stand against all forms of racism, and I am deeply sorry. I'm sorry to Rachel Lindsay, and I'm sorry to the black community.
His apology is his apology, but it felt like it got nothing more than a surface response on any of this.
Strahan, man, kicking the guy when he's down. Now, you shouldn't have gone down like that, Harrison, but boy, oh boy, no mercy whatsoever from the mob. And Strahan was leading the mob in that moment. All right, one more thing to tell you about. You probably know about this, or maybe not, because the fake news is underplaying it. But those who are opposed to the vaccine mandates are winning. The federal vaccine mandate through OSHA has been at least temporarily stayed. We learned that from the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals last week, but again, underplayed. Haven't heard too much about it. OSHA had to come out and say officially that, yeah, we can't execute this mandate anymore. Take a look on its website. OSHA says the following. OSHA has suspended activities related to the implementation and enforcement of the mandate pending the litigation. They can't do it right now, at least for now, and it looks like forever.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.